Hi everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you're having a nice Monday. Today's the beginning of the week. It's good for me to remember what day of the week it is as a human being, you know. Hope you're all having a good one. Today's kind of a mix between Chudwatch and a cringe stream, I guess, in that we're going to be covering War on Christmas stuff, which someone in the chat rightfully pointed out seems to be dying out year by year. So we're in a bit of a lull, not a ton of new War on Christmas stuff, except of course in the very fringe outlets of places like Newsmax or BitChute. But we're going to take a look at some stuff anyway, maybe watch the Fox Christmas tree burn, you know, fun stuff. Procagom, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub to the community. Quiet185, thank you for 11 months. Speedy Yoshi with a link, let's take a look. It's transphobia, not transphobia. Funny. Nick with 115 bits says meow. Kicks off a hype train. Thank you. Appreciate ya. Appreciate the bits. They're too busy bitching about COVID. There's only so much bitching energy in a day, you know? You gotta conserve it where you can. I did see Elon got Person of the Year. There's a misconception about Person of the Year. Guys, Person of the Year does not mean best person. Adolf Hitler won Person of the Year for Time Magazine. Time Magazine's Person of the Year is just the most influential Person of the Year. Have I given up on YouTube? No. I just need to get back on doing that regularly. What did Elon do this year? That's why I don't get why it's this year. Elon feels less important this year than he has in tons of previous years. So I don't get why he got it this year. Speedy Yoshi with a link. Ex-CEOs of Pepsi said asking for a raise is cringe-worthy. You know what's cringe-worthy? Being a CEO. Overthought with 50 bits says War on Christmas, and then it's the Robot Santa from Futurama. New haircut? No. Just looks a little different than normal. The owner of Time is a SpaceX investor? Shocking. He said he'd make a robot. He did say he'd make a robot. Maybe if I say I'm gonna make a robot, I can be Times Person of the Year next year. Speedy Yoshi with 45 bits says one more. Defense contractors, 768 billion. Class teachers, run and grab $1 if you want Sharpies. Arena in South Dakota is holding a dash for cash where teachers get on their knees and fight for $1 bills they can use for classroom supplies while spectators watch and cheer. Dystopian. It's like RoboCop. Wow. We are a failed state, if I have ever seen one. Interesting. Daddy Sume with 50 bits says, Daddy has arrived. Welcome. We're at 84% to level 1 of the hype train. It's like real life Squid Game, except much lower monetary amounts. Poetic Fox, thanks for 9 months, says it is time. It is time to name ours. Yes. This stream baby's name will be Antonio de Bouvier. Antonio de Bouvier. Daddy Sume says, to be fair, most of the comments are saying how disgusting it is and how scummy and are all ratioing the posts. Still, it happened. It happened in real life, and then people on the internet ratioed it. The two are not equivalent. Scorptane. It's kind of a cool name. Scorptane. My name's Tane. Scorptane. Thanks for subscribing with Prime. Speedy Yoshi says, actual person of the year. And then a link. Sure, Chucky can be person of the year. Bitter Grin with 100 says, the only thing Squid Game got wrong was how cheaply most people would sell their lives. We'd line up for a chance at way less money than that. Yeah, unfortunately. Kirthan with 100 bits says, got the highest grade in the class in my lit final. Well, that's lit. Is that how the kids talk? That's lit. So, seriously, good job. You were Person of the Year in 2006. That's true. We all were. We all were. 56% to level 2 with 3 minutes left on the hype train. Bumble Homestead says, thank the gods, Nutcracker is a wrap now for sleep and eggnog. I've never gotten the taste of eggnog. I've tried it. Disgusting to me. Especially if you mix alcohol with it. I don't drink anymore. I have a drinking problem. Which is why I don't do it anymore. But like, with or without alcohol, eggnog is so gross. And I'm fine with dairy, but like, no. Don't mix dairies with my alcohol, please. Unless it's like a mudslide, I guess. But again, I don't drink anymore, so. Fox News declares war on Christmas. Yeah, this is in the tree. This is the Fox News tree burning. Someone set it on fire. Which you shouldn't do. Don't commit arson. But in terms of arson, it's one of the funnier arsons I've ever seen. Rageology says talking about robots, 100 bits. Ugh. %72% to level 2 with a minute and a half left. Ew. I don't like this thing. Daddy Sume with a link. Oh yeah, it's that guy. I did see that, and we'll watch it eventually, but I wanted to hold off on the Alabama Jones guy for today. The fox tree burning has been dubbed Pine 11. I hadn't heard that. That's funny. Morak with 100 bits says, whoever set their Fox News tree on fire was likely just a tourist exercising their First Amendment rights. Speedy Yoshi says, what about this robot? This is a Five Nights at Freddy's thing. God damn it. I don't like Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't like the guy that makes it. And I certainly don't like the series because of the guy who makes it. Why not? What did he do? He's a Trump supporter. And he's like a conservative Christian. He donated a bunch of money to Trump, to my knowledge. Oh no, which video started? That one. Okay, thanks for the hype train, everyone. We did level 1. Let's see what we're gonna do first.
What's up, Josh? First,
let's get this out of the way first. This is just classic War on Christmas stuff. This isn't from this year. This video is actually a couple years old. But it's just some classic stuff to kind of set the mood.
on here, you know, I think in the age of political correctness, we become so open-minded, our brains have literally fallen out of our head. Do you realize that Starbucks wanted to take Christ and Christmas off of their brand new cups? That's why
they've never had Jesus on their cups. They've never had Jesus on their cups. Speedy Yoshi says, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Nixon, Comet, Cupid, Donna Dixon.
they're just plain red. In fact, do you realize that Starbucks isn't allowed to say Merry Christmas to customers? Well, I decided...
Is that true? I have no way of knowing if that's true or not, nor would I particularly care about the decisions a multi-billion-dollar corporation makes about what holiday messages their employees who make barely enough to survive, if they're lucky, what they're allowed to say. I don't care.
Instead of simply boycotting, well, why don't we just start a movement? So when I went in and...
Nick says, fun fact, this piece of shit got COVID. I did not know that.
I asked for my coffee, they asked for my name, and I told them my name is Merry Christmas. So guess what? Starbucks, I tricked you into putting Merry Christmas on your cup. And I'm challenging...
You didn't trick anyone. You just made an employee of Starbucks cringe their mind out. Nick Snort, thanks for 18 months.
All great Americans and Christians around this great nation, go into Starbucks and take your own coffee selfie. And then I challenge you to not only share this video so that the word gets out, but let's start a movement. And let's call it, I don't know, hashtag Merry Christmas Starbucks. And I know that by sharing this video and getting other Christians to do it...
Did I know this guy was at the Capitol on January 6th? That is the least shocking piece of information that you could have given me about this man. Like, the second on the list would be, like, he loves Monster Energy drink. Like, then I'd be like, yep, those are two things that I believe about this man. Darnandia Abel says, H-Bomber Guy did an excellent video on this stuff. It's just good business sense to go with Happy Holidays to cover everything, but they can wish you a Happy Christmas, too. Yeah, that's what I don't get. Christmas is a holiday. New Year's is a holiday. By saying Happy Holidays, you are including Christmas and New Year's. along with, of course, like Hanukkah and any other, you know, December holidays that might be going on. What's the big deal? Astrofox says, I'm here to support the war. The war on Xmas cannot end till its illegal occupation of October and November ends. Nick says, all holidays matter. This is what I don't get, too. Like, literally before Halloween, our local Dollar Tree already had Christmas stuff in their holiday section that had replaced the Halloween stuff. Before Halloween! Like, what is happening? I hate it.
Well, I guarantee that we can make this go around the world. And Starbucks, guess what? Just to offend you, I made sure to wear my Jesus Christ
It doesn't offend me if you wear Christian shit. I don't care.
shirt into your...
It's fine. It's fine that you're Christian. I'm not, but you can be. That's great. I'm very happy for you. Andrew Patella says, Starbucks is waging war on Christmas. What do you mean, Christian privilege? Hydrate. Speedy Yoshi says, now in the spirit of the season, start shopping, and for every $1 of Krusty merchandise you buy, I'll be nice to a sick kid. For legal purposes, sick kids may include hookers with a cold.
store, and since you hate the sex...
Martha Stewart makes eggnog. Look at how much booze. Oh, God.
Hi, everyone. I'm Martha Stewart. Let me show you how to make my eggnog. In this very large...
This is, this is so she can go, she's planning on hanging out with Snoop Dogg later, and they're gonna get cross-faded as shit. So she has to really pump up the
Delaware
alcohol
bowl.
content.
It's a family antique. I've already combined egg yolks, superfine sugar, heavy cream,
Don't put eggs in your alcohol!
and whole milk. That's the base. And now to this, I'm going to add my favorite bourbon.
Hold on. How much
Superfine
bourbon
sugar,
was
heavy
that?
cream, and whole milk. That's the base. And now to this, I'm going to add
Did she add the whole bottle of bourbon?
my favorite bourbon.
Eggy bourbon.
And dark rum.
Oh, okay.
And cognac. That's enough. Before your
Okay.
guests arrive, fold in beaten egg whites, and now add whipped heavy cream.
This looks so fucking gross. Speedy Yoshi says gotta enjoy the alcohol before she goes back to prison and can only get the toilet kind. Narnadia Owl says, oh, H-Bomb also covered a clip where a pastor actually said he thought there was way too much religious messaging in the adverts, if he'd use faith to shill consumerism. Bittergrin says, look, I'm fine with your anti-anime rhetoric, but I won't stand for this eggnog slander. It's not slander if it's true. Checkmate.
It's nothing like the eggnog that you will pour out of a container. Oh, and one last thing, freshly grated nutmeg.
No.
Fragrance is
No.
delectable. Can fragrance be delectable? Ladle a little bit into your cup. Perfect for entertaining. With flavor.
You know, whatever. Martha Stewart can do what she wants. If she wants to go get hammered with Snoop Dogg, I applaud that choice. Wouldn't we all make that choice if we could? Nick says, it's not slander, it's hander.
Second Amendment? I even carried my gun.
Okay. Cool.
Yikes. Anyways, guys, please take a moment. Choose to not be politically correct. Just correct.
The change from wishing fellow Americans Merry Christmas to wishing them Happy Holidays is a very significant development.
It's not. It's really not.
Proponents of Happy Holidays argue it's no big deal. Proponents of Merry Christmas are making a mountain out of a molehill.
You are. I'm pretty sure I use both interchangeably and don't ever think about it. If it's someone I know and I know they celebrate Christmas, I probably use Merry Christmas. Or if we're talking about Christmas. If it's someone I don't know, Happy Holidays. Who cares?
In place of the universal Merry Christmas of my youth, in recent decades I have been wished Happy Holidays by every waiter and waitress.
Yeah, he's Jewish, which makes it even more confusing. He's basically virtue signaling to his conservative Christian audience. Nick says, Stream Challenge, only do War on Christmas content from people who've gotten COVID. Challenge mode.
In every restaurant I have dined,
Okay? And
by everyone who welcomes me at any business.
Meek says, people have been saying happy holidays since like the 30s. My youth, my ass. Yeah, it's really, really stupid.
By my flight
Speedy Yoshi says, in your youth, so like back when Jesus was born.
attendants and pilots, and by just about everyone else. When I respond, thank you, Merry Christmas, I often sense that I've actually created some tension.
You're imagining that. No one really gives a shit. Other than the fact that they might assume you're this, and then they'll be like, oh, you're one of those people? That's weird. Card Shark 2, thanks for gifting us up.
Many of those I wish Merry Christmas are probably relieved to hear someone who feels free to utter the C word.
If you want to say Merry Christmas, say Merry Christmas. Who the fuck cares?
But all the sensitivity training they've had to undergo creates cognitive dissonance. By not wishing me a Merry Christmas, you are not being inclusive. You are excluding me from one of my nation's national holidays.
So it's a holiday, so happy holidays includes Christmas. So it doesn't exclude you.
But even if Christmas were not a national holiday, I would want pilots to wish their passengers Merry Christmas, companies to have Christmas parties, and schools to continue to have Christmas vacations. Just because I don't personally celebrate Christmas, why would I want to drop the word Christmas when the holiday is celebrated by 90% of my fellow Americans? It borders on the misanthropic, not to mention the mean.
They're literally just imagining a problem that does not exist. I'm skipping the Prager thing because he's boring, and we get it.
Fake holiday.
Nick Knack No Knack, thanks for 5 months. Speedy Yoshi says, Merry Coochie Miss to everyone aside from Ben Shapiro's wife. She's never very merry down there. Jeez.
Fake holiday, Festivus, but now a nearly 6-foot-tall Festivus pole made from empty beer cans about to go up at the Florida State Capitol. I'm not kidding.
That's funny.
It's part of a not-so-subtle protest against the nativity scene already on display there. Bill, I am so outraged by this. Why
are you outraged?
I have to drive around with my kids to look for nativity scenes and be like, oh yeah, kids, look, there's baby Jesus behind the Festivus pole.
I'm pretty sure they're next to each other. They're not behind. Why are you mad that someone put another thing next to the thing you want? Like, imagine being this entitled that you think that you are automatically owed the government acknowledging your particular religious holiday.
Made out of beer cans. It's nuts.
When was the last time you saw Merry Christmas? You don't see it anymore.
All the time.
They want to be politically correct. If I'm president, you're going to see Merry Christmas in department stores, believe me.
You know, the power that presidents have to determine the internal policies of private department store corporations. Logarth says, this is just giving me flashbacks to that Christian Christmas movie you and Jake reviewed a million years ago, Saving Christmas. Yeah, that thing was dog shit. Kirthan says, why doesn't the store carry only the things I personally want? Sweetie Bunny Mommy says, howdy ho, hope everyone is well. I hope the same for you.
Believe me.
Thank you, President Trump, for letting us say Merry Christmas again.
Oh, okay. Happy holiday.
Gee, I wonder why he didn't get reelected. With such great policy successes. We're allowed to say Merry Christmas again, even though we were never not allowed to do that? Narnia Owl says, say you're a religious conservative boomer without saying it. Quote, I'm driving around with my kids looking around for nativity scenes. I understand Christmas lights, kind of. Like, if you just want to go and look at the cool holiday decorations or Christmas decorations, whatever, that's cool. But, like, just nativity scenes? Once you've seen one nativity scene, I kind of think you've seen all of them, right? All right, they got the baby, they got the manger, they got the 3 guys and a couple of animals. Cool. Let's go to the next one. Oh, look, they got a nativity, they got some animals, they got the wise men, Mary and Joseph. At least with lights, there's more variety. I don't know. Rachel G says the C word, rolls eyes. Merry cunting Christmas. There, happy now? Makes me happy, yeah.
You can say Merry Christmas. Actually, no, I can't.
I don't believe that's generally a rule. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I remember this. You buy this. It's like a thing to fucking buy and put on your window. A thing that they sell like at the dollar store. Chibbers the Squirrel, thanks for 8 months, says, my favorite were the conservatives recently who were bemoaning a secular Christmas tree because they were, quote, reinterpreting the tradition of decorating the tree. Like, where do you think it came from? Yeah, it's a pagan tradition, I think, that got adopted by Christianity, which happens. That's fine. Speedy Yoshi says, once you've seen one nativity scene, you've seen them all. Not true. And then there's a link. Zombie nativity scene? Okay. Why? Why? Was a zombie, this is fine. No, Jesus is a lich. We've been over this. A zombie is a corpse that has risen from the dead. Jesus is a warlock who... God is his patron, clearly. Jesus is a warlock who had some kind of phylactery where his soul was kept, and then he returned to his corpse 3 days after from his soul receptacle and became a lich. Logarth says, they brought Frankenstein, Ghoul, and Mrah. Alright, that's a pretty good joke. Kirathan with 100 bits says, yoink. If you're gonna do a nativity, at least it's a unique one. I'll give him that. Blackwing Hecate says, the phylactery is obviously either the Holy Grail or the True Cross. It's the, oh god. It's either the Crown of Thorns or the, Shroud of Turin. I know the Shroud of Turin is a fucking fake. I'm making a joke. If I see one person in the comments, it's like, actually, the Shroud of Turin was fake. I know.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, kids!
Was I ever involved in my school's Christmas pageants? No. Actually, like, in really, really young elementary school, yes. We had to do these bells, and they'd hold up, like, cards with which color bells should be ringing at that moment. This was, like, kindergarten, so we had bells, and we had to, you know. But other than that, no. Speedy Yoshi says, fun fact about this, the local government tried to get them to take down the zombie nativity scene by issuing tickets and shit. Why? That's the real war against Christmas. Eek the Cat, thanks for 6 months.
You can bring light and joy to a culture that wants to remove Christ from the season. Watch for this mailing and display your Merry Christmas window cling in your home or car as a witness.
This person already had a Merry Christmas thing in their window. Look, they replaced one Merry Christmas thing with another.
Culture that wants to remove Christ from the season. Watch for this mailing and display your
Where is it?
Merry.
Look, oh no, they had a happy holiday. But no, that's a chalkboard thing. I think that's a chalkboard hangy thing. You could have wiped it off and written Merry Christmas at any time. What?
Christmas window cling in your home or car as a witness.
If only I had some chalk. I'm being oppressed by this war on Christmas, not giving me erasers to erase the old chalk and write Merry Christmas in new chalk. I had to buy this sticky thing from the 700 Club.
To keep Christ in Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yes, it is.
Why is the 700 Club called the 700 Club? I used to know this. Why is the 700 Club called that? For the telethon, Roberts... Oh, early on when they were trying to start, basically, they set a goal of 700 members to contribute $10 per month to their organization, so they started calling themselves the 700 Club, and it ended up sticking. So there you go.
It is. Merry Christmas.
Transform your neighborhood. Call 1-800-759-0700 for your...
Logarth says, actually, Jesus' soul was fractured before he was arrested as a ritual in which his followers partook of his flesh and blood, becoming vessels themselves. His followers continued to spread his soul during a ritual called communion. Unfortunately, this has prevented him from coming back to a corporeal state, but rumor that his second coming are rife. Ooh. This actually makes me think of a really good idea for, like, a D&D campaign, and the big bad is, like... Something similar to that. It was a being that tried to keep themselves alive through these rituals, basically splitting their soul via something like communion, and then it has grown over years into this large religion. Now maybe a new cult of this god or whatever has come back, and in order to try and reform their god, air quotes, into a whole to come back as a lich, has to wipe out enough of the population of religious adherents in order to, I guess, bring the pieces back together. Basically, anyone who's ever partaken in this religious communion ritual would have to be wiped out, and once that is complete, then the lich will return and be the big bad evil last person. If anyone wants me to DM for them, give me a call. Deadman XRPMX says, does that mean Christians are Horcrux? I guess so.
Christmas cling.
Spoiler, he comes back as a gingerbread golem.
Well, we want you to help us keep Christ in Christmas by displaying this Merry Christmas sticker in the window of your car, your home, or your business. If you're a CBN partner, your sticker's already been mailed to you. All you need to do is look for this envelope.
Zippy Bird says, forget about putting Christ back in Christmas. Put Christ back in Christians.
If you're not a CBN
fan DM campaign one. That might be fun if I could find people in the audience who are people who've played D&D before and that I trust, who are in chat a lot, and doing like a one-shot. That might be fun someday.
CBN partner, we'd love to send you a sticker.
Logarth says, you can also affix on one of these stickers to your wrist or forehead.
Sticker, absolutely free of charge. All you have to do is call that number that's on your screen, 1-800.
Daddy Sume would probably be a part of it because I think it would be funny. So bear in mind, you would have to be in a party with Daddy Sume.
7590700, or you can log on to cbn.com.
I've been shopping for Christmas ornaments about Jesus. I'm not
Blackwing Hecate says I'd be game for that. That'd be fun. Okay.
Anti-Santa Claus.
What about eLive? I know, I gotta get the other people together. But what if we did one-shots every once in a while with you guys as characters that were in the universe of eLive, but were unrelated to the other thing? I think that'd be fun, because I already have the map and the universe and the characters and stuff, you know? Eh.
I just don't want him in my face every minute because it's the birth.
What is eLive? It's the D&D campaign I've done somewhat with Jake and them that I DM. Morak says, oh, whoa, in chat a lot and trusted, so me, oh, whoa.
Of Jesus Christ.
Lady Necro says, Hannah, Daddy Sume is a bonus to your campaign.
Or you don't want the holiday tree, you want a Christmas tree.
I do.
Right?
And I want to be able to. They outlawed Merry Christmas a few years ago, and you know it.
No, they didn't.
But you know,
no one has outlawed anything. You're literally saying it right now. Merry Christmas. Say it. Who cares? No one cares.
You couldn't even say Merry Christmas at Walmart.
You don't watch other people's campaigns. It makes you depressed you're not in one. Oh, I'm sorry.
And the Walmart greeters told me they weren't allowed to say it.
Okay, that might have been the company policy. That's not the law. That's Walmart.
But we all started writing, and what did we do? We changed it.
Yes.
We changed it. We
We
all
did.
worked together. You don't have to lay down for it.
It's not like they stop with one thing, right?
Frost MP Rye says, thank you, it wasn't capitalism, it was your Merry Christmas sticker that made Christmas a November to December powerhouse.
They find something.
Wing the Ultimate Nug says, as a Walmart employee, this is fake. Wait a minute, are you telling me that guy who has been convicted previously of fraud is lying to his audience? Shocking. Narnia Owl says, little do you know, Hannah, he was arrested by the anti-Christmas police mere hours after broadcast. Morok says, I worked for Walmart for a while. Unless it's a new thing, we had no guidance on Merry Christmas.
They kind of destroy that, and they'll move on to everything else that we love.
Her belief system should never supersede that of the parents. Look, this is the indoctrination of kids. It keeps going younger and younger. Liberals ruined Halloween. Now they're working on Christmas.
Wait, how did we ruin Halloween? We made it fun?
Think that 10 years from now, people will be free to use the term snowman?
What?
Oh no, it's already snow person.
Is
Haven't
it
you
really?
heard it's gingerbread person? Yeah, gingerbread person. Come on, Tucker, you're behind the.
I've never heard people call gingerbread men gingerbread people, and even if they do, who cares? It's a cookie.
Times.
H-Baird says, you know, if they really want people to wish them Merry Christmas, they could just wear buttons that say, wish me a Merry Christmas, you know, like pronoun buttons, because that's the actual problem they're worried about, right? You'd think so. Vontuck says, remember Santa Christ? Was that an attempt to poke fun at Christmas? I think maybe, but it seems too clever for Doug Walker. It was just a combination of two Christmas characters. Is what it is. Kirthan says, Christians are so oppressed. Meanwhile, a chaplain has been coming into my dad's hospital room several times a day, even though we told him not to. Gross. 50 bits. Andrew Batella says, please have some respect for the gingerbread NBs. Nick says, use snowman as anti-white slur and watch Cucker Tarlson freak out.
So, Governor, a holiday tree really, Governor? What's a tradition of a holiday tree? Where does the holiday tree come from? Well, last year...
Where's the Christmas tree come from?
When the subject came up about what we're going to do at this time of year, I said...
Alright. Is it just the O'Reilly thing, or does it actually go into anyone else? Let's get into the newer stuff.
What do you want for Christmas?
This video is entitled, Joe Biden's War on Christmas.
You don't know. What? No guns. Nerf gun. No, not even a Nerf gun. No, if your dad wants to get it for you, that's fine, but I can't bring it to you. But what else?
Nick says, speaking of modern-day Scrooges, factory workers threatened with firing if they left before tornado employees say, yeah, I heard. Narnia Owl says, I mean, Bill O'Reilly is practically a 5-star general of this nonsense. Yeah. So their concern is that this particular mall Santa said no to a Nerf gun? And somehow that's Joe Biden's fault? That's kind of funny. How about this guy? I'm pretty sure this guy is a literal, like, neo-Nazi. Hydrate. Will do. So let's see what his concerns about the war on Christmas are. His music reminds me of the music from Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in a really, really unfortunate way. I feel like I'm in, what's the second level of that game? The one with all the pipes, there's toxic, you're underwater. feel like it's that. Blackwing Hecate says, remember people flipping their shit over the plain red Starbucks cup? I do. Yes, chemical plant. Thank you. Andrew Batella says, oh no, they outlawed the Christmas tree, a tradition that, as everyone knows, comes from the magical tree that, according to the Bible, grew all sorts of lights and festive decorations in reaction to Jesus' birth. Morok with a link.
Dipshit! Want to see whose lap you're sitting on?
Oh God, no! Yeah, this guy does have a long-ass intro.
Okay. This is just sick, but this is the upside-down libtard world we live in.
Yikes.
First of all, some sicko put this in a bottle. It's ginger ale. No, California's war on Christmas.
California! Oh, we're starting out the gate strong with this one.
Can't make this stuff up. Okay.
Fun fact, previous videos, this guy had a Hitler mustache. Like a full-on Hitler mustache and comb over. It was not a good look.
So...
on Hitler or this guy, frankly. Rageology says celebrating Christmas was actually illegal in England for a time during the brief few decades, 350-odd years ago, when it was the Protestant Republic. It was banned for being too Catholic and not so properly Christian enough. Nick says ANC equals a Nazi cock. Jesus Christ.
Gavin Nuisance, as I
oh, he's got names for everyone. What a clever little boy.
like to call him, has decided he's just an authoritarian prick. First, you have the shutdown lockdown, right? But he goes his dinner parties, 50-year-old birthday, right, with no mask. Nobody's wearing a mask, including
Tucker White says, pro tip, when you're making a video with window layers, don't make your box smaller than the crap you're shilling. Yep. I'm guessing, because this is recent. No, this is from December 2020. This is from last year. Yeah, no, he shouldn't have been going to any parties if that happened.
including him. Huge party, eating big things.
Daddy Sume says, hey Hannah, I wanted to share this short self-defense video. It's a safety thing. It'd be very helpful for trans people concerned about their safety. Okay. If I can get the sound to go.
Today I'm teaching you the deadliest self-defense move known to man. However, this move is only for life or death
Sume, so it's probably a shit post. I'm not stupid.
situations and not to be messed.
Sorry, Mr. Blackwing Hecate's bits says, I was at the mall on Halloween with my friends and they had already set up their Polar Express themed Meet Santa thing. Goth kids, we failed. We have to be the unbreakable line that holds back the ever-encroaching tide of Christmas. Fontuck says the war on Christmas, more like the war on Saturnalia, right? And Nick says, oh, I knew it. We've covered this guy before. He went all Office Space on a TV in a video called The Cure for Coof. Oh yeah, that was him.
This move was created by Yeltsin in 1987. However, it was immediately banned from all karate competitions due to its violent nature. Which is why, once again, today I urge you to use caution. Step 1 is to make a fist, ensuring that your thumb is on the outside of your fingers. If it is on the inside, it can break your thumb during impact. Do this with both hands. You now want to place your fists halfway between your chest and your hip. Once you're at this point, move them slowly from side to side, and eventually the momentum will end up with you.
Oh, you showed me this.
For life. In 1987. However, it was immediately banned from all karate competitions due to its
that counts as a
violent...
Rickroll, and you already had one for the year, which you already used. So I'm going to time you out for an hour. Because I've been very, very explicit about this, goddammit. Worth it? Sure it was.
Thanksgivings and stuff when he told everybody else they couldn't. He also had more than 10 people. They had way more than 10 people. And he's just like, oh yeah, my bad. Rules for thee, not for me. Then, this dickwad decides you can't celebrate Christmas without a permit. Well, how would you know? I guess if you have Christmas lights on your house, you gotta go get permission.
I think it's probably more you're not supposed to have a certain number of outside people in your house at a time. Basically, don't have parties, don't have get-togethers, would be my guess.
So I have an idea. I don't think a lot of people from California watch these streams, but because if you do this, you are officially worse than New Jersey. Congratulations. The leniency on pedophiles and now the war on Christmas. I think you're worse.
The what?
Worse than New Jersey. And that's as low as it gets.
Navigator says that never happened in California. Shocking.
But I got some ideas. If I lived in California, which I don't and never will, and they tried to do a law like this, or bully people into something like this, I would put the most obnoxious number of lights and a giant statue of Jesus right in the yard on purpose.
Okay.
I think we could get some GoFundMes for this giant Jesus statue, because you know that's what really makes them mad.
Not really. If it's your own private property and it falls within the building codes for your city, I don't give a shit if you erect a fucking Jesus statue on your own personal property. Don't really care.
It's not this.
Am I gonna laugh at it? Probably, but that's my right to do that, just as it would be your right to build that on your property. That's fine.
Santa stuff. It's just anyone being happy about anything. Because misery loves company, and these people are...
That's true. I hate everyone and everything, and I've never been happy a single moment in my entire life. Very true.
Miserable. Then I had a better idea. What if collectively, like the people of LA or whatever, did a some sort of GoFundMe, whatever, for a giant air balloon of Jesus or Santa, and just did circles around the governor's house. And
that'd be fine. If it was Santa, I think people would think it's cute. If it's Jesus, that's a little more pointed, but I don't think people would care that much. They'd just be like, guess what these weirdos raised money to do this day? Oh, look, they made a giant balloon of Jesus and flew it around, and that's interesting. And I'd go, oh, that's kind of funny. And I'd move on, because I wouldn't care.
And then I had a better idea.
Morok says, as someone who lived in San Francisco for 5 years, there was a lot of Christian iconography and whatnot all year long, not just during the holidays. This is BS. Yeah. This is people who think California is this, like, godless hippie hellhole. That's just full of, like, only hipster atheists drinking, you know, coffee that has art on it. I don't know. It just comes from a weird stereotype about California. California is a big fucking state. There's all sorts of people in there with different beliefs. The majority tend to be left-leaning, but that doesn't change the fact that there are plenty of areas and plenty of people who aren't left in California. And even if you are left, you're not immune to liking Christmas. I like Christmas. I'm an atheist, and I'm super left, and I like Christmas. I don't like the over-commercialization of Christmas, but I enjoy the season. I enjoy the holiday. Nick says, buying a gigantic hot air balloon of Jesus is just what Jesus would do. You know, doing something that that will actually help people. Netzerk says, I've been to LA recently. They're all too busy driving badly in ridiculous traffic to care. Blackwing Hackety says, this is what this guy wants.
Jesus wants a hug!
Deadman XRPMX says, so are they getting blow up Jesus at Spencer's? Let's blow up Jesus. Fill your holes with his Holy Ghost ectoplasms. Oh, God.
Well, first of all, I have some missed Shekel chats from last stream that I'm going to read, but all right, I'll read those, and then I'll tell you about the best, most epic idea. All right.
Shekels is anti-Semitic dog whistle, by the way. Von Tux with 100 bits says, if only half of the California stereotypes were true, people forget the state Ronald Reagan was governor of. Plenty of chuds in California, sadly. Zarek Shadow says, can confirm I live in a little town in California and we have a nativity right in front of our public library. Speedy Yoshi says, if you blew up a blow-up Jesus, wouldn't it just go out of the holes in his hands?
So, from last time, some that I missed. Where did it start? Okay, so Right About Everything says, people who don't know things don't know that they don't know, you know? I know it's in the name, poor twitchy bastard. Sometimes you don't know that you don't know something. But I feel like...
Oh, I hear a kid. This Nazi sack of crap has a kid. That sucks.
Like, if it's a topic of foreign policy or something and you've never really read about it or whatever, you ought to know that you don't know.
I'm not ignoring your messages. I read them.
I guess if you're ignorant of your own ignorance, you can't be helped. Aku540 says, what are a few things you believe Trump could do in the second term to achieve GOAT status? End aid to Israel.
Tucker White 94 with 50 bits says, well, I'm convinced Hannah. Do you know if you know? Morak says, fanfic idea, the Ghostbusters have to bust the Holy Ghost during the holidays. Yeah, he's like a Nazi, guys. I told ya.
That would make him the GOAT. It's not gonna do it. If I had a little wish list, end every single armed conflict. Get out of Afghanistan completely. Get out of Syria completely. Stop arms sales to Saudi Arabia.
Wait, does this mean that Joe Biden is the GOAT for getting out of Afghanistan? Nick says, second, Sturm, as in Sturm, oh gosh, Sturmbtilung, Strumabtilung, nice Freudians, I don't get it. Speedy Yoshi, thanks for 10 months, says, forgot to resub, also missed out on those tasty emotes. Tucker White with 50 bits says, to be fair, Hannah, I'm also for ending aid to Israel, at least until it ceases being a borderline apartheid state. He didn't just say end aid, he said invade. He said invade. He didn't say end aid. Andrew Batella says, what could Trump do to achieve GOAT status? Find a warlock to cast a baleful polymorph. Blackwing Hecate says, yes, the president who moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem is totally going to stop supporting Israel. Rah Inks, thanks for 5 months, and that catches up.
Arabia, at least until they end their war on Yemen. Every single conflict, just get out. And get a peace between North and South Korea. That would make him the GOAT, if he could do all that. He could do it easily by ending aid to Israel. You cut off the power...
Oh, no, he did say end aid. I thought he said invade. I apologize. Sorry.
...of their ability to bribe politicians, and it would be very easy to do the right thing. Truly to be GOAT, get rid of the IRS, the CIA, cut the FBI in half. That's some like Ron Paul level stuff, though. Joe Close says, by the way, I was called a Dawson simp the other day by Destiny's followers. I thought that was funny. Just tell them, like, here I am. My arguments are public. Where's your counter argument? They don't have one because they're dumb and wrong. Vibro for 3 says, adding to... Plus, simps for like when a dude's in love with a chick or something. I don't have that appeal. I don't even brush my hair. Sometimes I don't shave. I ain't trying to win through aesthetics. My arguments...
You're trying to win the other way, which is to become a pariah from society by becoming a literal neo-Nazi, which all the women love, clearly.
Solid, because they're correct. Vibro says, Adding to Pixie's public service, you skipped a couple shekel chats right above the 75er. I just got it. One from John Bolton said, haha, I tried to tell them to have you on, but he said he ain't interested in conspiracy theories. Yuck, you poor brainwashed boys these days trust everything they feed you. I think I did read that one last time. Anyway. John Bolton says, mate, just debate me. Come on, man. I would love to debate the real John Bolton, but that's never going to happen. Rolf Peterson says, DuckDuckGo says in 2013, President Lance D. Haven Smith, in a peer-reviewed book published by the University of Texas Press, showed that the term conspiracy theory was developed by the CIA as a means, and then his ran out of chat stuff. I know. It was a dirty word because of JFK. They wanted to be like, that's a conspiracy theory. And that meant stuff like you think Elvis is still alive, aliens have visited Earth, that kind of junk. A conspiracy theory is when you have no evidence. You just go, oh, they're all in on it or whatever. No motive, no evidence, nothing. Like Russiagate. There was no evidence or motive. It did not make any sense.
There's no motive for Donald Trump to try and work with Russia to release incriminating DNC information from the hacks. Don't think I agree with that. Lady Necro says, terrifyingly, there's at least one woman that wanted his Nazi sausage. Gross.
They just wanted to blame the election on something.
Is he going to talk about the war on Christmas anymore, or is he just going to go off on conspiracy theories? Because that's a tinfoil Tuesday.
These things I said. One from Kate said, tried to find a Seth Rich video of yours and wasn't able to. You have to call the government goons on Christmas carols. That'll really look good PR for him. But I think he should have to hear it all the time. And in addition to that, I think he should build a giant statue of Jesus or Santa. You don't even have to be Christian. Just do it anyway to piss him off. Because if they're not going to let you have... Can you imagine if they said they're going to have a permit for Hanukkah? No way. And that is a minority among minorities of religion in the United States. But that would never happen. They wouldn't ban Kwanzaa either. And no one celebrates that. Christmas, though, that's what they're after.
No one's banning Christmas, you
So I say double down. Be more Christmassy than ever. Right? If you never put lights in your house or whatever, now is the time to do it.
Blackwing Hecate says, everyone remembers the zip code for Beverly Hills is 90210, but less people remember that the zip code for Cape Side, Massachusetts is 90108. I don't understand the joke.
You're going to be in range in such a way to send a message, too.
Has David Duke been banned from Twitch? He's an outright neo-Nazi, so I would understand if so, but, like, I'm genuinely curious if we're allowed to, like, criticize his shit on Twitch without it being...
Every people and every nation has the right to preserve its culture and traditions. The American people are losing that fundamental human.
No, they're not. You can celebrate Christmas, no one gives a shit.
Right. Today it is practically a hate crime to simply say that America was founded by European Christians.
No, it's not.
Our heritage is under attack by a mass media and a government that is determined to wipe out our precious heritage. There is no better example than the war being waged on Christmas. Whether one is a Christian or not, Christmas is an ancient tradition that enriches our nation and its people. It is part of our cultural tradition as much as our religious one. The theme of Christmas is one of peace, beauty, love, charity, and hope.
Tucker White says, for someone who's arguably the most famous white supremacist, you'd think he'd have the money for a better mic. You'd think.
A child is born to bring the world all these things, a new day for all of us. In our Christmas carols and Christmas trees, nativity scenes, as well as our European archetypical Santa Claus, we celebrate...
He says European archetypical Santa Claus explicitly, I think, to differentiate from, like, Santa Claus, like the one I have, if you know what I mean, considering David is a fucking Nazi. Fucking asshole. Felix Night Owl says, I hate the Russiagate is fake BS. Even Kyle Kalinske is saying it, and I used to like him. They got like 18 different Russians on money laundering. The investigation made a profit. It didn't cost anything. It gained money. Also, there was that meeting in Trump Tower with the Russian lady. It was legit, or am I wrong? No, I'm pretty much on the same page as you, but pragmatically I've let it go just because it's clear that nothing's going to be done about it. So, it's whatever. Tucker White says, does anyone anywhere unironically do caroling? I did in school, but it was a Christian school. Blackwing Hecate says, I like that we all can see the BitChute logo is bitch. And Nick says, yep, BitChute's a bitch.
Our traditions, our community, our love. But Merry Christmas is being replaced by Happy Holidays. Christmas holidays in school are now being called winter break.
By the way, it's not lost on me that this guy, David Duke, who's like a neo-Nazi, is using the exact same rhetoric as Fox News has been using for decades, or at least years. Not lost on me. Von Tuck says, why did Jordan Peterson never sell Santa Claus merch? Little Xmas lobsters Santas. No creativity.
Even Christmas carols are banned in our schools.
He's banned on Twitter and YouTube. No info about Twitch. Gotcha.
Schools now. The word Christmas is not to be used in schools because, after all, there was
Christmas got used when I was in school. I wouldn't have cared if it wasn't.
Christ in the name Christmas. Community nativity displays, which have been put up for hundreds of years in Mother Europe and in America, have now been banned by the courts. Any sort of Christian...
Yeah, if you want to do a nativity scene on public property that the government funds, you have to allow other religions to put up stuff, like a Hanukkah display or whatever other people want to come and do holiday displays.
An aspect of Christmas...
Which is a good thing, by the way, because the government's not supposed to endorse religion.
This is banned on community...
Baja says Mother Europe, ? Yeah, it's a white supremacist talking point.
Community property. And now... we are seeing the beginnings of attacks.
It's biological essentialism, it's racial essentialism, it comes down to all the, like, blood and soil shit. It's really gross.
On even the ancient European tradition of the Christmas tree, or Yule tree. In Seattle, a rabbi successfully had them removed from the international airport. Increasingly, Christmas trees are being removed from public places.
They're not. They're everywhere. They're fucking everywhere.
The Christmas fall from grace is no accident. It did not happen like an apple falls from a tree. The Christmas tree and all of its cultural and religious branches is being purposefully chopped down. Who has been behind this war on Christmas? One might suspect it's been driven by the small numbers of atheists, but actually, they've had a minor role. The driving force behind the destruction of our Christmas traditions has been Jewish organizations and extremist Jewish activists.
The United States government is not supposed to support any particular religion. You are not supposed to have 10 Commandments monuments on the court or whatever, or in front of courts rather. You're not supposed to have nativity scenes in front of government buildings on government property. There's nothing wrong with making sure that the government isn't overstepping their bounds. I don't even have a problem with having holiday displays that include Christmas, honestly, as long as you allow other people to come and make their own next to it. I don't care, but you have to do one, or you have to do either none, or you have to allow anyone to do them. It's just how it works. You don't get to just decide you're special and the government gets to pay to celebrate your religious holiday, but no one else's. It's not how it works. Blackwing Hecate says, also going back a bit, my uncle does hand bell ringing. It's really cool. Andrew Batella says, wait, so according to this fucker, Christianity is an ancient European tradition which started in Jerusalem? Yes. In fairness, I don't know why I would say even in fairness, because fuck this guy, but I assume the thought he's having is that Christmas as we know it, he is arbitrarily deciding to stop the progression of where it came from to, like, white Europeans, because that's what he associates with, because he is a white supremacist.
For decades,
Jesus was Jewish. Correct.
leading Jewish groups have lobbied against the celebration of Christmas in our schools and communities. They include the most powerful Jewish organization in America, the American Jewish Committee, and the American Jewish Congress. Another is the ADL, which is the Anti-Defamation League.
Tucker White, sorry I missed your message. Tucker White said, blah, 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 they won't let us celebrate Christmas, blah, Jesus fucking Christ. This is the exact same shit I heard back when I was a kid in the 2000s, yet it's only gotten exponentially bigger since I was a child. Yeah, it's crazy.
A B'nai B'rith. One should also include the ACLU, an organization founded by Jews and dominated by Jews and Jewish funding.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know the religious or ethnic makeup of the people at the ACLU, nor do I fucking care. The ACLU is an organization entirely devoted to making sure that people's civil liberties are protected from the government. They have literally won cases for the KKK to march publicly. The KKK are pieces of shit. I hate them, but I also recognize that the ACLU in that case is just trying to generally preserve civil liberties so it applies to everyone equally, right? The ACLU is doing their fucking best. What the fuck? Blackwing Hecate says, do these people know that in colonial times celebrating Christmas was literally banned in Boston? I don't know. I really don't. Artemis8192 says, just found $30 in change under my couch, so take some bits. Ooh, thank you. Yeah, the only people who have ever banned Christmas in America are Christians who banned it because they thought it was pagan.
Along with these Jewish groups, the Jewish-dominated mass media has promoted the
Okay. I don't think I can do much more of the anti-Semitic straight-up Nazi shit. That is fucking bad. That is so fucking bad. It's gonna hurt me. It's hurting me. I am hurt. Alright, let's find something else. Do we want Alex Jones? Do we want Alex Jones talking about the war on Christmas? Is that something people would be interested in that's less bad than Nazi guy? Blackwing Hecate says, actually, they banned it because people were using it as a chance to practice hooliganism. Damn hooligans. Alright, let's check it out.
Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas. And it's about Jesus Christ. It's not about the big corporations and the Chi-Com atheists and the globalists.
The Chi-Com atheists.
Because in China, if you say Merry Christmas, you get shipped off to a concentration camp. Well, that's all you do. You say,
China definitely has concentration camps. I don't know if that's a reason you can get sent to one.
Merry Christmas! We're taught to believe that if we submit to the left and use the words they tell us to use and follow their nomenclature, their system, that they'll leave us alone and we'll be part of the club. The truth is, you're giving in to cult members that know that they're bullying.
I have no idea what he's even talking about with that talking point.
Dominating and taking control of you. And that's why they've allied with Islam, is because they see it as an authoritarian system as well that's orthodox and will force you under their control.
Yes, when I want people to be non-Islamophobic, I usually think to myself, yes, we must stop Islamophobia so that my atheist self, my trans atheist self can ally with a fundamentalist religion that is diametrically opposed to almost everything I believe. Diabolical. Raven G3226 with 6 months says, as soldiers in the war on Christmas, you're expected to knock over no less than 10 nativity scenes and force your autocorrect to say Merry Xmas. Nick says, Sorry, with 45-bit says, the talking point is big corporations bad, you're being targeted by my shit. He's not wrong that big corporations are bad and commercialize Christmas to a disgusting extent, but it's so ironic that he does the same thing. He just sells brain force pills and supplements with an unfortunate amount of lead, allegedly.
That's why giving into the bullying will never empower you. It starts out with don't use the N-word. Well, I don't use that, so okay. And the next...
Yeah, don't use the N-word. Don't use the N-word. Don't do that.
It's oh.
Are we really doing a don't use the N-word slippery slope? India Owl says, Alex, the goal of adopting this grift was not to get sued into the ground again. Stay away from connecting it with concrete groups of people.
Don't say Merry Christmas, say Happy Holidays. And now, here we are today. Don't say...
Say whatever you want. Not everyone celebrates Christmas, though. So sometimes you're going to say it to people who aren't celebrating Christmas. It's just easier to say Happy Holidays. But I don't care what you say. Do whatever the fuck you want. Tucker White says, okay, fess up. Which of you in here played the brown noise in Alex Jones's video?
Mother and father. Some people don't have mother and father, and it's all cultic programming, a global corporate system that wants to destroy true liberalism, that wants to destroy the Renaissance that the West started. So the true liberal system of the West is antithetical to neoliberalism, that is really neo-fascism. And they admit this in all their white papers. They are scientifically destroying language, and now universities are command bases of anti-free speech and of orthodoxy. And
no, they're not. If you go to a university and actually take classes, you might learn something about how universities function and about the world in general. I'd recommend it. Morak says, first they came for the N-word and I did nothing. Then they came for Christmas and there was nobody left to defend it. Nick says, how can you scientifically destroy something man-made? I don't know.
And of cult programming in their own admissions. And now, like metastasizing cancers, they are bursting forth and spreading the disease throughout the general population. Communist Chinese Confucius centers spend hundreds of millions a year working with the Ford Foundation and the left, teaching the anti-free speech orthodoxy in the schools. And Apple and Google eagerly help Communist China suppress their own people and have created a global social score that the UN is adopting from the Chinese Communist government.
What the fuck? I don't watch Alex Jones often, but when I do, I always forget just that he just says stuff. He just says stuff that isn't true. He'll just lie. He'll just make shit up and say it. Fine.
Get on the internet, tracking and tracing, controlling your every movement. So it starts with, don't say Merry Christmas, and it ends with, all over Europe, they take children at least 3 times a year to mosque and teach them to pray to Muhammad. Because again...
It wouldn't surprise me if some places had some field trips that involved different, like, religious places. That would be fine. It'd be interesting. Like, oh, our country has a population of people who are Muslim that's growing. Let's go, teach the kids what it is to be Muslim or whatever. Interesting. I don't have an issue with that. That's not inherently fucking evil, you psycho. Blackwing Hecate says, people like him are why, Zwart P10 exists. I don't know who that is.
There's 1.8 billion Muslims, about to be 3 billion by 2030 in 10 years. They create an orthodox centralized system as well that is going to be welded into the new fascist left West. And out of that marriage, you will have the communist socialist system of Islam merge with that again.
Wait, did he say pray to Muhammad? I didn't even catch that. Holy shit. Yeah, they don't pray to Muhammad. Muhammad's a prophet. They pray to Allah. Raven says, I go down to the Buddhist temple near me to do yoga every now and then. Really nice peeps. Cool. Yeah, and Allah's the same God as the God of the Bible in Judaism. It's still that God.
In their own documents, their own admissions, their own alliance. Global corporations with a fake form of liberty.
I'm really glad he lost those lawsuits and he's going to get financially fucked. I hope it destroys his life. Oh, it's the Peter character. Yeah, I remember. Nick says, ah yes, the fascist left that wants to install a government that executes LGBTQ people.
Liberalism merged with radical Islam. This is the orthodoxy. This is the plan. And all over Europe and now here in the United States, they have to put barriers.
H. Baird says, is him constantly saying orthodox and anti-Semitic dog whistle, or does he not like the Eastern Church? I don't know.
Barriers up at Christmas around Christmas trees because the truck of peace will run down hundreds of men, women, and children. And then the New York Times and the other high priest of knowledge tell us, oh, that's not Islam. Don't say that the attack at the Naval Center is Islam. Oh, don't say that the attack in New York is Islam. No, 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 no. And anyone that's saying that is bad, and they need to be silenced. That's right. And then if you expose...
Yeah, if you use religious extremists to try and paint everyone in that religion as an extremist, you're generally an asshole. Like, for instance, look at a lot of school shooters or stuff like that. They tend to be a particular demographic. It's white right-wing boys. I don't use that to assume things about the general population of young white men, right? Because that would be fucked up. Don't do that. Don't stereotype people. Not great.
Jeffrey Epstein and the child kidnapping rings.
Tucker White says, is Alex Jones implying Islamic fundies are quote-unquote, or quote, left, unquote? They're right-wing totalitarians who are no different from the fascists you pander to. No kidding, especially considering people like Nick Fuentes. Literally recently have said, like, I wish that the U.S. is more like Taliban rule for women particularly. Mike with 50 bits says, don't let Han watch this. Hans, I assume you meant. Someone send this to Hans. I want him to think horses aren't real. Funny. Felix Night Owl says, are Jewish God, Christian God, and Islam God really all the same God? I use the why worship God when all these other gods exist. Who makes your God the right one argument? Can I still use that argument? Yeah, because there are other religions other than those three. But that's why Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are called Abrahamic religions, because they all follow the God of Abraham. Yes, they're all the same God. Razzle Tazzle says, oh heck yeah, the war on Christmas is my favorite part of Christmas. Garo the Khajiit, thanks for 9 months. That's a stream, baby. Gotta come up with a Khajiit name. Let's see. Oh wait, it's K-H. K-H-A-J. Khajiit name generator. Do I want Hans to have a meltdown? A little. This baby's name is Jaasha, J''A', which is a girl name. Jaasha.
That have all come out. Well, the ADL comes out and says you're a Nazi, and then they go out and attack you and get you to be platformed.
Don't be a Nazi then. It's really, really easy.
This is a very, very sick, evil alliance of corrupt authoritarian systems all working in unison. And if they can get you to not use the words mother and father, they can get you to not use the word Jesus Christ, they can get you to not say Merry Christmas, well, then there's nothing you won't do. And meanwhile, the younger generation is literally being brainwashed and programmed inside the public school systems. And now AI is being enforced into the computers and into the...
AI is being enforced into the computers. That sentence means nothing. AI is being enforced into the computers. Meek says, how can Alex Jones be anti-Semitic? His wife is Jewish, is she? Okay, there are racist guys with black wives.
The text documents in live time controlling what you can and can't say. A technocracy beyond anything George Orwell could ever imagine is now here amongst us.
George Orwell was a socialist.
Freedom is the ability to say 2 + 2 = 4.
Meek says, sorry, I meant to add the S. Gotcha. Oh yeah, they got divorced anyway. You're ordering Cottage Inn. Do I want anything? Oh, shit. Yes. I would like a Stromboli. Or, sorry, they don't have Stromboli. They have, what are they called? Calzone. I would like a calzone with bacon and ham. A calzone with bacon and ham. I think that's it. Thank you, Baha. I love you. Morok says, Lovecraft married a Jewish woman, and they were a piece of shit who actively wrote about how Jews are evil and ruining society. Yeah. Unfortunately, anti-Semitism was much more popular back in the day. Blackwing Hackety says, I ordered cookies. I hope your cookies bring you much joy. Get enough to share with the rest of us. I'm sure Baha will get exactly enough to reasonably share with, how many people are watching? 263 people online. Keep an eye out for your mailboxes. We're going to send you pieces of pizza in the mail. They'll probably be gross by then.
And now freedom is the ability to say Merry Christmas.
What the hell is Cottage Inn? I'm from the UK. Cottage Inn is a franchise pizza restaurant in the United States.
I heard about the war on Christmas stuff 20 years ago and didn't believe it. I said, come on.
I think it's regional, not national, but, you know, they exist.
That's not what that is. And now they admit that's what it is.
Breadsticks also. I assume you're already getting breadsticks, but if not, breadsticks. Oh, butter dipping sauce, garlic butter sauce. I assume you're also already getting that, but if it asks what sauce I want to dip, butter, garlic.
All over the U.S., they tell children, don't give out Christmas cards in public school, separation of church and state, knowing full well that's the First Amendment saying Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or the free exercise thereof, that you as a citizen in a public school, in a private school, on a street corner could talk about whatever you wanted.
Correct, you can. If you're in school and you're a student, you can talk to people about religion. You're allowed to do that. School just isn't allowed to promote religion to students. Oh, breadsticks aren't vegan? Okay, could you get me an order of breadsticks? I'd appreciate it. If not, it's cool. I don't know if he got paid. I don't think he got paid yet, but I get paid tomorrow. So if you get breadsticks, I can get you back for them. Nick says, translation, I used to not believe in the war on Christmas until I saw people making money off of it.
You could talk about atheism, animism, Islam, Christianity. You could talk about Harry Potter. But they tell children here and in Europe, you don't hand out Christmas cards. This cult is
I don't think you hand out Harry Potter cards either.
Bullying Christians all over the world because Christianity is antithetical to their global.
Are breadsticks not vegan? They probably put butter on them. Mike Mack says, thanks Baha and Hannah for the pizza. And there's a link. The world's first non-fungible pizza.
Corporate takeover and its alliance with Islam. But the world is awakening to this tyranny, and the people are not buying it. And the leftist program to dominate and bully us into submission has failed. That's why they're intensifying their controls and trying to drive people into submission, but it's only going to backfire. So make no mistake, when you exercise your free speech, and when you use the words that these control freak cultists say you shouldn't use, you are literally destroying their attempt to bully us into the next level of total control. You guys come on through. It's public. Come on in. God bless you. How you guys doing? It's a great family. What's your name, sir?
I'm John England.
Nice to meet you, man.
Ew.
How you guys doing?
He's a fan.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Great looking family.
Thank you. Let's have a picture of us. My wife, my daughters, and my son.
Awesome.
Snap it. All right. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Well, God bless you. We're out here talking about the Islamic attack on Christmas and the rest of it.
Stephen J. Neptune Man says, I gotta
Let's
say,
do it,
I'm still
absolutely.
convinced there is a war
God
on
bless you guys.
Christmas. Oh, really?
Love you guys.
How's that going?
Great.
So
Thank
nice
you.
to see you.
Nice to see you. You guys have a great one. Guys, be safe. Hi, how you doing?
I meant not
Hey, I
convinced.
just sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but if you got some time, I was just curious if you thought there was a war on Christmas. What you're thinking about the war on the Christmas this year?
Oh, well, there's absolutely, in all the different WikiLeaks and all the different public documents and statements, a war on Christianity, a war on Western culture, a systematic demonization of it, saying it's offensive to say Merry Christmas, say Happy Holidays to people. I mean, that is an admitted, stated plan.
So
by whom?
You really feel that people are angry at that tree when they drive by?
No, when the Islamicists all over Europe,
Islamicist,
and other areas in New York run people over at the Christmas trees, and they have to put barriers up all over Europe because the Muslims
Oh my God. Ugh.
run them over.
Oh, that's.
Hey, when white supremacists run over people, am I allowed to, like, be a shitbag towards all white people then? Because that happens.
That's what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's a real. You understand that almost every Muslim country is 99% or 100% Muslim.
I don't care. I don't care. That's always the weirdest talking point to me. My dad said similar things when I was younger. He'd be like, why are they allowed to have, like, homogenous nations and we aren't? And I'm like, wait, so you want to be like a nation that only allows you to be this one thing? Like, it's so gross. It's so gross. And it becomes so clear that a lot of these people do not want to live in a country where you're allowed to do what you want as long as you're not hurting people. They want to live in a nation where only people like them are allowed. It's so fucking nasty. Tucker White says, wait, corporations are aligning with Islam to destroy Christmas, the single biggest commercialized holiday on Earth? A holiday that was basically manufactured by a marketing office in New York? A holiday where companies make the most money? Yeah. Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Northandia Owl says, and it's not even true.
I mean, I don't know about that. I was just
No, but I mean, can you go to Saudi Arabia and tell them you're an atheist and walk around the street?
I wouldn't go to Saudi Arabia because it's a state that doesn't respect my rights. It's not a good place to be. Why would you want your country to be like Saudi Arabia? Overthought says, where the right messes up is fighting a two-front war. While they thought they could hold the lines of Xmas, they tried to invade the communist Satanists with resources spread too thin. Santa blew his brains out and fell next to Rudolph's cold carcass in the North Pole bunker. Razzle Tazzle says, I feel personally affronted that other people aren't forced to celebrate Hogswatch with me. There's a war on Hogswatch. I'm oppressed. Terry Pratchett, I think. It's a Terry Pratchett reference.
I don't know, man. I was just asking if you were upset about the Christmas tree or you thought people were upset about the Christmas tree.
Yeah, they've had to put barriers up all over Europe around all the Christmas trees and Christmas festivals.
This one.
Yeah, that's why it says Happy Holidays, because people will sue or complain if it says Merry Christmas.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, so there's a major war. Have you heard they tell kids even in Texas don't do Christmas cards because of separation of church and state?
I think they probably just call them holiday cards and do them.
I don't have any kids. I haven't heard about that. No.
But you know, separation of church and state is the government can't get involved in religion.
School is the state. School is the government.
Prescribe it. You can't prescribe what somebody talks about in public school.
Nah, I don't know anything about that. I don't have any kids.
No, but I understand. But what I'm telling you is there is a war on Christmas. There is a war on Christianity. Did you know that more than half of all religious persecution in the world is against Christians?
I'd love to see those stats and how you come up with them. There are absolutely places in the world where Christians are a minority and are treated like shit. China, there absolutely are places in the world, let me be clear about that, where Christians are persecuted for their beliefs. It's places where they're a minority. Surprise. The United States is not one of those places, in any way, shape, or form.
I believe it. I mean, we're one of the largest groups.
No.
So statistically, if there's attack on religion, there's going to be a lot of attack on Christians.
Well, Islam's the biggest religion right now. Yeah.
No, it's not. Christianity is still the biggest religion. That might change at some point. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know where it's trending, but it goes Christianity, Islam, and then I'm not sure. I don't know, but I know those are the top two. Mike Mack says, for someone so pro-American, you would think he knows how America actually works. I mean, he's a grifter, so.
And there's about to be 3 billion Muslims. There's 1.8 billion right now.
I suppose. I mean, Pakistan's...
Okay, why would I care? Let's see. World religions by percentage 2021. Let's see. Right now there are 2.38 billion Christians. Islam has 1.91 billion. Hinduism has 1.16. Buddhism has half a billion. Folk religions a little under half a billion. Other religions 61 million. 14 million Jewish people. Are there really only 14.6 million Jewish people? That's insane to me, considering how many, were killed in the Holocaust. Oh my god. And then 1.91 billion people are unaffiliated. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Christianity's the biggest religion. Porcelain Giant, thank you for 10 months, says, hello, everyone. Blackwing Hecate with 45 bits says, don't forget to rattle your drawers and complain to appease Anoia. Tucker White says, FYI, Christmas isn't the only holiday this time of year. There's also Hanukkah and Kwanzaa during December. Christmas and New Year's Day is just 7 days apart. Hell, seeing as we start celebrating Christmas in September, I'd argue that Thanksgiving and Halloween are part of the Christmas season now. So basically, the Christmas holiday season encompasses 6 major fucking holidays. Yeah, it's really dumb. The fact that New Year's is like a week away from Christmas nullifies any arguments against happy holidays. It's really, really dumb.
Huge.
Well, in the Quran, there's the House of Islam. That means in Islamic country, there's the House of War.
I haven't read the Quran.
Because they don't recognize any country or religion outside.
Yeah, no. The Quran, which I fully admit I do not have as much knowledge of as the Bible. I have read parts of the Quran, not the whole thing. I've read all of the Bible. Haven't done so with the Quran. But the Quran is not the way that these people bring it out to be. The Quran is mostly about obeying Allah, obeying Allah's commands, spelling out what those commands are, but no. Christians are called, people of the book, right? They're considered people who also follow Allah, albeit incorrectly, but you're not supposed to outright, be a big piece of shit to them. I don't know. Like any religion, there are sects and different ways of interpreting the text. The way Alex is interpreting it is the least charitable way possible, intentionally. Chrysia says, the way to get to Islam bigger than Christianity is by excluding Catholics. Oh, yeah, he might be doing that. He might be considering Catholics not Christian, because he's an idiot.
Islam, there's the House of War. Everything else is war outside of where they control.
Oh.
And that's why they're always in war.
Fun fact, the KKK hated Catholics too. Yeah, the KKK basically liked Protestant, white, Christian men. That's about it. Landowning helps.
Wars with each other because they're always saying, oh, you're not really the proper Islam. And then our media tells us, oh no, Islam's wonderful. It runs great societies. It invented mathematics.
Someone get Hannah a copy of the Quran for Christmas. I have one. I don't know if it's somewhere. I have it.
Islam's 1,400 years old. Islam didn't invent anything. It did.
Islam didn't invent anything? No one tell Alex about Islam's golden age. Holy fucking shit. That's a really ignorant statement. Let me give you an example, right? Okay?
Transatlantic slave trade.
I'm an atheist, right? So I'm not religious, but I'm also not an asshole, so I'm not incapable of recognizing when the primary motivation of certain people who've discovered things happen to also be tied into religion. So during the Renaissance, for instance, a lot of really great thought came out of that. A lot of new things to discover and rediscover about the world. But a lot of it is cloaked in Christianity because society at the time was very Christian. That doesn't mean I discount it, right? I look at a piece of art or something from the Renaissance that depicts some sort of biblical tableau. The fact that it's a biblical tableau doesn't make the artistry any less impressive, right? It would be like if me as an atheist was like, this painting is Christian, therefore it's bad. It's childish, it's stupid, and it makes you look like an idiot, quite frankly. No, a lot of stuff came out of Islam's golden age. You're just wrong if you say that it wasn't. Like, period. Blackwing Hecate says they invented the symbols I'm using to give Hannah money. Yep. Arabic numerals, people. They're kind of important to everything we do.
And so I just am not going to sit here when the New York Times, everybody else tells me to worship Islam and tells me that Islam never hurt a single person in history. When Muhammad was a slave trader.
The New York Times says that at all.
Oh my God.
The New York Times doesn't tell you to worship Islam, man.
Oh my God. I had the New York Times reporter basically say, we're coming after you if you don't stop going after Islam.
They did? They said that?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Okay, don't be Islamophobic then. Again, I'm not saying you have to like Islam. I don't like Islam any more than I like Christianity, but, like, I like Muslims, I like Christians, I like people in general, unless they're assholes. Your religion has nothing to do inherently with whether or not you're an asshole. People use their religion to justify their actions often, so people who are assholes will sometimes use their religion as a justification to carry out their assholery. But that doesn't necessarily mean the entire religion is dog shit, at least in terms of morality, not in terms of correctness. I don't think the religions are true, but, you know. Blackwing Hecate says they also invented pot. That one, big ups. Big ups for that one. H. Baird says the Islamic world also gave us coffee. Precious, precious coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the wheat.
And they write huge cover story after cover story, total lies.
You're not very liked on the New York Times, no.
Well, I don't care about the New York Times. They're a total fraud joke propped up by Mexican, drug lords and people. I'm not, Carlos Slim. I'm not, you know about him?
No, oh, Carlos Slim, yeah, the mega millionaire.
Billionaire, yeah.
Is he the richest now?
He was for a while. And he's heavily connected to the narcotics trade.
Oh, so I didn't mean to.
I love that the organized crime organization with the New York Times is like me. I'm just saying, they come out and say that people have to make up crimes of Islam because they don't exist. But there's so many crimes of Islam that
and there are crimes of Christianity too.
I've decided just a full-time cover it now. Because it's the one thing they don't want you to talk about. So you're asking, is somebody mad at that tree? Yeah. Anytime the Muslim population goes above 5%, it becomes house of war. They begin attacking. There are statues all over Europe being torn down that are Christian just the last week. Grabbed, cut up in pieces, smashed, destroyed, people being mass raped, everything.
Sorry, I was just curious what was going on with the tree.
Would you feel...
I just wanted to know what was up with the tree. I didn't think you were going to bring up mass rape. What the fuck?
Feel safe yourself going and living in Pakistan?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, women's journals tell women to go live there, and they get cut up and killed.
Yeah, they've been having a lot of problems with women, violence on women, especially in.
But wait a minute. Well, that's because a lot of that's Islam. Islam has never hurt any women. Didn't have them coming to them.
What is he? Is he just going to talk to this guy for the rest of the video?
I'm going to commit a thought crime.
The guy goes away.
Oh my God! It's like, talking about how bad we are all day. If America's so bad, why does everybody want to come here?
It's a great country.
Yeah, but why are we constantly told how horrible it is?
Stephen J. Neptune Man says Alex Jones is still not being as awful as this one guy on a message board I used to go on who said, with complete seriousness, quote, Islam has not contributed anything to Western civilization. Islam is a death cult, end quote. Oh my God.
Turn the news on.
There's always room for improvement. I don't think it's bad to point that out. But yeah, America's great. Love it.
Well, that's good. It was good talking to you, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Again, sorry to
Merry Christmas.
Oh, God. This guy is...
Thought criminal right there. All right. God bless. And that was... No, you didn't interrupt. We're glad to talk to you. See what I'm talking about here? I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff to women. And I go, didn't have it coming to them. I said, oh my God. It's like, oh, yeah, because we're all just proving how good we are. But you make a joke, you see. You can't do that in America. There's no jokes here. The thought police are going to get you. Watch what you say, you stinking Americans. We don't go to other people's countries and sit there and tell them not to worship animals.
The United States, in its history of various interventions around the world, are about a lot of things, Alex. Holy fucking shit. Americans literally in droves will leave the country and go to other countries to try and convert people to Christianity. That's not even talking about the official, like, actions of the US government in terms of our, like, imperialistic actions abroad. Just like random citizens will get together on a bus and fly to a different country to be little white saviors and be like, I'm here to tell you about Jesus Christ. Ridiculous. Thrashmio says missionaries are a thing. Yep. Yeah, they are.
We don't sit there and tell them to stop doing what they're doing.
When I was a kid, the Christian school I grew up in elementary school, where I went to school, because it was a Christian school and church, it was Baptist, literally had a board in the hallway where they would stick pins where all of their currently dispatched missionaries were. So it would be like, oh, here's the thing in Haiti, here's the thing in Africa, here's the thing in, you know what I mean? There's little pins all over the board where their groups of missionaries were at the moment. It was one church, okay? They required a fucking board to show people. Nick says they literally should be stop doing missionary work unless they're going to give actual help without the religious shit. Yeah.
No, instead it's reversed.
Razzle Tazzle says that's like saying England never did anything bad to any other countries ever. I literally spat out my water laughing.
First colonization with the globalists bringing the worst ideas into the West.
Hey, remember when Christian Americans literally went to Africa and, like, kidnapped people and then brought them to the United States and not only treated them as chattel and property, but also forced them to convert to Christianity on the threat of violence and death? Good times. That's a joke. They aren't good times. What the fuck, Alex? Hydrate.
And then telling us to sit down and shut up and give up our culture. Well, you know what? I'm going to commit a thought crime. Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas. And it's about Jesus Christ. It's not about the big corporations and the Chi-Com atheist and the globalist. Because in China, if you say Merry Christmas, you get shipped off to a concentration camp. Or if you're a Muslim, you get shipped off to a concentration camp. And our media and the left are massively allied with the communist Chinese. So again, in this 1984 system, I'm going to say it. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! It's so simple. People fought for free speech. Stop letting the corporations tell you how to speak and how to live. Exercise your free speech.
Aw, Purple Pondini with 5,000 bits says Happy Holidays. Thank you very much. That's so generous of you. I appreciate that.
In the face of the leftist authoritarians or lose everything. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Yeah! Other folks are doing it. Merry Christmas!
Alex Jones is genuinely just a crazy guy who happened to get a show. Isn't it so weird?
Merry Christmas! God bless you, brother. Merry Christmas. It's like a network saying, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Well, that's all you do. You say, Merry Christmas is the same thing to these devil worshippers and leftists and people attacking Christmas events in Europe. Merry Christmas! We're not surrendering, ladies and gentlemen. America and the world is awake.
Keirthin says, just the fact that he can do this goes against his entire point. It does. You are correct. Andrew Patella says, old man yells at tree. And Zarek Shadow 09 with 55-bit says, I too went to Baptist school K through 12th grade, and I had an actual teacher who said if she was a missionary in a foreign impoverished country, she wouldn't provide aid until they accepted Jesus, which I think defeats the purpose of a genuine conversation. That's disgusting. She's an evil person. Garo the Khajiit says, oh, he's mad, all right. And then Bittergrin with 50 bits, or 45, says, damn, he's only 4 years older than I am. He looks rough as fuck for his age. Oh, yeah. If he takes his own supplements, it could be the lead. Allegedly.
Freedom is rising, and Merry Christmas from Infowars.com. There's a war on Christmas. There's a war on America. There's a war on our free speech. There's a war on the family's very existence. And all over the world, Christians are being persecuted. But Hollywood and the corporate media promote it like it doesn't happen, or that it's something cute, it's something funny. What it really is sick. And those very same forces that have it out for Christianity.
H-Baird says, he does know that the mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore guy is killed at the end of the movie by people who made him famous, doesn't he? I don't know. I don't know if he's seen Network. You shall atone! Stephen J. Neptune Man says, I was going to say that Alex Jones has lost his mind, but I'm not sure if he ever had it to begin with. Nick says, can we have an Alex Jones cleanse of him saying funny shit? Maybe. If I can find one. And KBS says, I got expelled from Christian school. They tried to teach me creationism, and I started laughing and tore down the teacher. I had to go to public school after that. That was probably a better choice.
Have it out for InfoWars and have it out for you and your family. But bottom line, when you spread the word about InfoWars, when you spread the word about the videos and the articles, you make these scumbags so damn angry.
Alex
Just
Jones
like when you
isn't
use
mad.
the term Merry
just
Christmas.
bloody daft.
They absolutely hate that because they want to make you
Sorry,
say Happy Holidays. They want to make you talk like they want you to talk. They want to make you their puppets. Well, I'm not their puppet, and I know you're not their puppet. And once we're awake, and once we're pissed off, and once we're not submitting to them, and once we start exercising our speech, we start winning. And that's what's been happening, and that's why they've been censoring us. But they can't stop you from getting the word out. And if you fund InfoWars, there's really nothing they can do. We're going to stay on the air. We're going to expand in 2020. But we need you to go to InfoWarsStore.com this Christmas.
They, in fact, did not expand over
We need you
2020.
to fund InfoWars by getting great.
He recently lost his court cases by default, and he owes the Sandy Hook parents a lot of money.
Products you need. We've got huge sales going right now. Your free speech, amazing things.
Alex Jones. What a nut. Hernandia Owl says, you're not a puppet. Buy my shit to prove your independence. How the globalists stole Christmas.
Okay. Thanks, Tommy, and stay safe up there. We'll see you in an hour. Woo! Well, it's the Omicron. I mean, there's whole pockets of Omicron wafting through the streets like the marijuana clouds in Amsterdam. You know, it's just. Whoa, so I am feeling grateful to be here, and I want to apologize to you guys for the delay. So I'm ready to go whenever you are. Again, when you're in the middle of a pandemic like this, I'm really, really grateful that we have an underground. Let's roll whenever you're ready.
All right, ready, rolling in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Remnant Underground. I'm Michael Matt. America's second case now of Omicron was reported right here in Flyover Land.
Today, a second confirmed case of the COVID variant Omicron.
But I remember, you know,
it's called the Omicron. It's called the
promising a nice fresh
of our Lord.
And
we're getting to the
are
Christmas
we going to
stuff
miss
now?
that this year? Let's just review a little bit of that for old time's sake.
For Christian respect
for the sacred dignity of every person.
Now remember, everybody at the time, you know, all the never-Trumpers having no idea what was coming with Joe Biden. And they said, well, that's just lip service. That's just Trump lip service. Why are you guys such gullible fools, man? It's just lip service. And I was like, whatever. If that's lip service, we could sure use a lot more of that then and now, especially now. And because you remember that
Yeah, Trump does not give a shit about Christianity.
presidential lip service caused old Georgie Porgy to positively soil himself with fear of the Donald back then. Remember this?
Clearly, I consider the Trump administration a danger to the world, but I regard it as a purely temporary phenomenon that will disappear in 2020.
Oh boy. Oh, Georgie Porgy. I don't know if he's still alive. Does anybody know if he's still alive? Could he possibly be still alive? I don't know.
I do believe George Soros is still alive, yeah.
Maybe he is.
He was also correct on that count in that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, so.
Or maybe Team Schwab has transformed Georgie Porgy into a robot. He would be a good candidate to become the first transhumanized guy there, yeah. So, yeah, what else? Speaking of Klaus Schwab, I actually am following him on Twitter now.
Didn't I attend the Soros meeting last week? Not last week. I gotta go next week and read the notes from last week, the minutes. I was busy aborting babies, so I couldn't make last week's meeting.
And do you know why? because it's actually pretty funny stuff. Really, really funny stuff. But if I had numbers that were as low as poor Klaus Schwab's over at Twitter, I think I might shut the thing down. The takeaway, which is why I follow him now religiously, is Klaus, buddy, nobody cares, Klaus. I know you think and you're hoping that they do, but you know what? They actually don't. Nobody cares. They don't want your great reset, Klaus. Seriously, buddy, you get to retire. Nobody wants it. It's not popular. Your own social media numbers prove it.
Nick says he's laughing like he's been to Amsterdam a few times.
Coming up with all seeing daylights. I know what's happening. We know what ethics we're doing. Great reset.
The rigid and colourless British way of life was irrevocably transformed by the emergence of the underground movement.
Okay, so talking about the Beatles.
Julian is a Mermaid by Jessica Love. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. And Yulan felt loved.
Andrew Batella says, whose babies are you aborting, or did Soros cover the costs of a uterus? I don't know. I don't ask questions.
Pioneer.
Who's Klaus? Yeah, I don't know who this guy's talking about. I assume it's a guy this guy talks about regularly.
To have this conversation, the lowly, stable.
Sorry, this guy's boring.
Welcome, brothers and sisters. Welcome to a new video of Triple Grace. My name is Michael. I'm the founder of Triple Grace, and
he's in the corner in the little bottom left. He's so tiny.
The Righteous Path Movement Foundation. And today the topic of this video is war on Christmas. The pattern reveals it all. Brothers and sisters, remember that famous sentence that the Antichrist, Mr. O, said when he proclaimed that he will win the war on Christmas. Of course it was misunderstood by the secular world. It was misunderstood and said, oh, he will take away Christmas. That is not the case. What he was telling you is that he will make war against the mountain.
What the fuck are you talking about? Blackwing Hackney with 45 bits says he's a tiny little German man. Von Tuck says, imagine how much happier and less crazy boomers like this would be if Facebook was harder to use. Making things easy enough for boomers to use should be banned.
Brothers and sisters, what is Christmas representing?
Thrash Mio says mission
the birth
accomplished,
of
so
our
it hasn't
Lord
happened.
And Savior Jesus Christ, right? The coming of the light into the world. And so there will be another Christmas day when the Lord will return with Mount Zion at the sixth seal. And we know that all will this come to pass from the fall feasts towards the end of the year. Fall feast, Hanukkah, Christmas. So when the war will take place, that is exactly the right timing. The war most likely will start on Hanukkah against the mountain, and the promise of the Antichrist at this time will be that I will win the war.
Okay, so for him, the war on Christmas is a literal war. For him, the war on Christmas is like an end times prophecy thing. Cool. Cool Sage says, is it just me or do Werner Herzog's movies just keep getting weirder? Blackwing Hecate says, this new version of the Daleks is not good.
Christmas. But of course he will not. It is all a public statement of his agenda for the sixth seal. But the churches, of course, cannot understand this, because they had never an understanding of the book of Revelation. Nor do they know that 2nd Esther chapter 13 is related to the sixth seal. Nor do they understand that the rapture of the church will be at that time.
Goddamn crazy people.
Well, the man police.
Let's do One America News. I think they're talking about the Fox Christmas tree getting arsoned.
Say set fire to the Fox News Christmas tree in Midtown has been released without bail. 49-year-old Craig Tamana, who is homeless, denied the arson after his arraignment last night. The $500,000 Christmas tree was set ablaze just after midnight.
India Owl says the famous leader and CEO of Antifa, Antichrist.
Yesterday, no injuries were reported. The suspect faces numerous charges, including arson and criminal mischief.
The radical left in its grotesque war on Christmas. The so-called comedians of late-night television are having a field day after a homeless man with possible mental illness allegedly set fire to the Fox News Christmas.
Yeah, because it's, like, funny, because Fox every year is going on and on for, like, a decade, if not more, about this war on Christmas, and then, like, a crazy person actually sets their Christmas tree on fire. That's, like, fucking hilarious. Hold on.
Tree in Midtown Manhattan. Uber liberal Stephen Colbert just couldn't help himself, spinning the destruction of one of the most recognized symbols of Christmas into a baseless political attack.
The holiday season is in full swing already here in New York. The Christmas lights are burning bright, especially over at Fox News headquarters. Where last night, the Fox News Christmas tree was set on fire. We're not talking about a couple of toasted pine cones here. Take a look. Crispy!
Nick says, Goebbels with tits here cares more about Christmas trees than she does about children when it comes to treating the mentally ill.
Kringles! Of course, this would never have happened if the tree had a gun.
Colbert didn't stop there. He just couldn't contain his glee over the deplorable act, sharing a message.
How dare this comedian make jokes? God damn it. As we all know, the right, since they're always very adamant that we can't make jokes anymore, clearly they wouldn't try and cancel Stephen Colbert over his jokes, right? They wouldn't be hypocrites, would they? India Owl says, yeah, Colbert actually called O'Reilly out on this shit some years ago. Can't blame him. Two Man says, I can't wait to kick Santa's ass in the war on Christmas. That coal-slinging fat bastard had it coming.
With his fellow cretins on social media. A message that invoked a fiery response from Fox News host Greg Gutfeld. Colbert tweeted, Flaming Christmas tree just got its own show on Fox News. To which Gutfeld retorted, and it's already beating you in the ratings. Ouch. But the liberal hack attacks didn't end with Colbert's cheap shots. Jimmy Kimmel, who's no stranger to spewing his hatred, disguised as comedy.
Wait, I thought the right were all about jokes. It's just a joke, bro. Everything's a joke, right? Dave Chappelle, he's a comedian, so he has to tell jokes. And by jokes, I mean just doing a TED Talk on how trans people are shit on Netflix. But these late night hosts make jokes about a Christmas tree burning where no one was injured. And all of a sudden that's too far. That's off limits.
Also had something incendiary to say.
You know, there was some malicious holiday mischief outside the Fox News building in New York at midnight last night. The Fox News Christmas tree was engulfed in flames. The fire is believed to have started after Fox News' pants caught on fire. Even though lighting trees on fire is very much in line with Fox's position on climate change, the hosts of their morning show were very upset today.
Somebody climbed up in the tree and lit it on fire.
Making a mock.
Red Werewolf says, if there was a war on Christmas, why do I have to hear Text Me Merry Christmas at work every day? That song is a war crime. I've never heard it, and I'm glad I haven't.
Degree of shock and disbelief over such a terrible act. You stay classy, Jimmy Kimmel. And then there's the little-known host of The Daily Show, Trevor Noah, who also joined.
He's so little known that we feel the need to call him little known as to debase his career. We're not salty at all.
Joined in on the flame throwing. Listen as Noah struggles to make a very weak joke that falls embarrassingly flat.
This is the news that matters, guys. We need to show all the comedians and tell you their jokes aren't funny.
Set fire to the 50-foot Christmas tree outside the Fox News studios. And it's not clear how this happened. I mean, it could be an accident, could be arson, could be Santifa. It's not clear.
Cue the crickets. Joining us now with his...
I think it's fair to say Santifa's funnier than the collective jokes of all right-wing people for the last 300 years, so I'll take it.
Take on the radical left's war on Christmas, former senior communications advisor at the White House and current executive director of Freedom First PAC, Ben Williamson. Ben, if this
Note the sudden audio
Christmas
cut.
tree had been outside CNN, do you think you would have seen the same jokes, if you can even call them jokes, last night?
I don't think so, Natalie, and I gotta tell you, this is
Do you think if the context of this situation was entirely different, then the results of said context shift would be exactly the same as the original context? No. No, anything you ask that question about.
personal to me. I love to laugh. I love comedy TV. I could sit down and watch way too much of it for hours at a time on any given day. I want to know when all of these late night hosts got together and just decided not to be funny anymore. I mean, what happened to the days of Johnny Carson, early Letterman, even
Johnny Carson? So, according to you, late night hasn't been funny since May 22nd, 1992. Which is older than me. Maybe you just don't like late night TV, which is fine. A lot of it's fucking garbage. The only late night show I actually like is Conan, and that's been canceled for a while. He does a different thing now.
Conan.
MH Darkbeast says, have some Christmas pain. Hannah.
Right, so our cultural thought leaders have now embedded the COVID lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
Oh my god. Oh no.
In the mid-2000s where these shows were funny, and now it just seems like they've gotten together and decided they're going to just stream Fox News on a secondary stream on network TV as if Fox News isn't crushing their ratings already as it is anyway. But I do have to say, Natalie, one of the ironic things that happened is when the second Fox News Christmas tree went up, that's actually the first time that anything was built back better in Joe Biden's America. So maybe...
You think that's a better joke than Santifa? Mm-mm. Blackwing Hecate says, Conan went to the same elementary school and high school as me. Oh, interesting.
Built back better was referring to the Christmas tree all along. I guess we'll never know.
Well, the left...
Oh, no. You kept going with the joke. Yikes.
This war on Christmas, this has been going on for so long. President Trump ran on it. We were gonna start saying Merry Christmas again.
No one is stopping you. Say Merry Christmas. Who the fuck cares, you weirdos?
Now it's shortages, it's inflation. People aren't gonna get their presents in time for Christmas. All we really have for that Christmas spirit still are the songs, the music.
Why can't I do a consumerism? Is Christmas even Christmas if it's not about buying things? Aren't right-wing people supposed to be like, they took Christ out of Christmas and replaced it with all this commercialism and Santa? And now they're like, where's my new Apple? Where's my iPhone, Joe Biden? You commie?
The decoration.
Nick says, this woman looks like she was cryogenically preserved somewhere in Munich for 85 years.
And so to attack...
Decorations? There are decorations all over the place. I literally told a story earlier about how I was at the store prior to Halloween and they had Christmas stuff up in their holiday section.
Attack that and then make fun of it. This is the spirit of Christmas that people are trying to keep alive right now, even though times are just, they're unparalleled.
Well, just because you see a Democrat or a leftist saying, Merry Christmas, Natalie, remember, the thieves of joy are still alive, well, and they're working.
Don't believe the lies your eyes and ears tell you. Only the party can tell you what's going on. What, you seen left-leaning people saying Merry Christmas and participating in the holiday? That's a lie. Believe what we tell you. The left wants to destroy Christmas.
Going on in the holiday season that is putting that at risk. You're right. The supply chain issues are down the drain. We've got prices going up, inflation up across the way. Energy prices are up all across the board, meaning people likely won't be able to travel.
Blackwing Hecate says, Thieves of Joy, yawn. Let me know when the Thief of Time is on the prowl.
As easily as they were. And now you've got Dr.
He did say the holiday season. Now who's canceling Christmas?
Fauci on TV spreading unbased fear about the Omicron variant of coronavirus and suggesting that people start forcing family members to be vaccinated or show vaccination cards.
Yeah, no one gets to come to my Christmas if they're not vaccinated. I'm not having Christmas at my place, but if I were, that would be the rule.
Or they can even come over for Christmas. It's...
TubeMan says, I can't buy my Freedom Fries Christmas coffee from cis Macy's bathrooms. Thanks, Obama.
Ridiculous. It's part of their mantra. The thieves of joy are at it again, even if we're still saying Merry Christmas in most corners of the country where real America lives.
And the lamestream media, they're just so out of touch. You think that they'd pay attention to what the people actually care about. But no, they just keep bringing on the likes of Dr. Fauci. They keep, well, they're talking about the Christmas tree and making fun of it. There's so much, they're just so out of touch with the people. You think they'd take a look at their ratings. Even Greg Gutfeld, he's beating a lot of these late night shows in ratings, but they don't listen.
The ratings thing is always interesting to me about Fox, because if you're looking at people who still watch cable news, which are going to skew older anyway, if you took the ratings of CNN and MSNBC and the other networks like NBC News and like stuff like that, not just MSNBC, but I'm talking like the actual network nighttime news that are on the networks, and combined them, I'm pretty sure they'd be higher than Fox. Fox is highest because they're the right-leaning news source on cable TV for the most part. The centrist and left-leaning audiences spread their viewership amongst the rest of the stuff because there are more options. Kinda not difficult to understand. Hydrate. Thank you. Von Tuck says, how the fuck did they manage to bring up Fauci on a segment about Fox News Xmas tree? If they don't get their hit of, like, Fauci hate every 15 minutes, I'm pretty sure right-wingers die at this point.
They just care about looking woke, and that's all that matters, even if they are losing everything else.
Well, a sign of failure, Natalie, is that you're not willing to look yourself in the mirror and acknowledge what's wrong. And we see the evidence of what really is wrong in all of the data. You look at Biden's polling, Kamala Harris's polling, even Pete Buttigieg's polling from today. You look at the media's polling.
Who is paying attention to Pete Buttigieg? Who the fuck cares what Pete Buttigieg does? What?
Left control of Congress and their polling.
I know he has a cabinet position. I'm just saying, like, I don't care about his poll numbers. What?
Americans see what's going on. The only people who apparently don't recognize what the issue is the Democrats themselves. You're seeing it in all the data. I think that's going to continue through the holiday season and into 2022.
Fauci is Emmanuel Goldstein to these people.
And I think you're right. It does go to show how out of touch they are with regular Americans. And unless they wake up they're going to get an awfully rude awakening come
Real Americans live in Real Americans live in counties where the cows outnumber the people, okay? If there's even one more person than a cow in your county, you're not a real American.
2022 in the midterms.
It's so true. When you look at all the polling data, even on COVID, which who knows why Biden even ever led with COVID, because President Trump...
Luckily for you, One America News does only count certain Americans as 3/5 of a person, so some counties might get away with it. Von Tuck says, Buttigieg, I think they've been out of their way to bring up... They're going out of their way to bring him up since he dared to have paternity leave while gay. Nick says, counties? Ha ha ha. H. Baird says, I understand it now. One America News is like a chick flick. There is not an actual story. It's just a string of touchstones meant to create a series of emotional states. You just described how every story works. Fun fact. Don't criticize Nora Ephron like that, goddammit!
Got everything done from Operation Warp Speed to the ventilators, so much the economy having a comeback, but every single area Democrats, they're just failing in, and you'd think that this would be a wake-up call to them, but it's not. It will be a wake-up call, though, next November, that's for sure. Ben, thank you for the work that you're doing out there to, again, make sure we have a big red wave come 2022. The people of this country, we deserve to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and not all these faux attempts at just making fun of the people that really matter.
Like a Christmas tree? A Christmas tree is a person that really matters?
Hey, thank you for what you do, Natalie. It's always great to be with you.
Always great to see you.
Man, Citizens United went further than I thought. Not just corporations are people, but the property of corporations are people. Rip that Christmas tree. Blackwing Hecate says, have we considered that One America News is another auditor plot? Maybe we should set an auditor trap to determine. Stephen J. Neptune Man says, conservatives don't represent the average American either. Most Americans are politically neutral or somewhere in the middle in the grand scheme of things, and most have gone their whole lives without knowing who Steven Crowder or Ben Shapiro are. Stone Corbell says, she almost forgot to awkwardly bring that meandering conversation back to the actual topic of conversation right before the end. Truly, it must be difficult being a blonde lady on a right-wing news channel. Oh, this is a Newsmax one? You know, Newsmax, a competitor to One America News. Because there's a market for these people, apparently.
Hey, it's Christmas time. Christmas time. What does that mean? Stuff, material, merchandise, secularized, everything that...
That's funny, because Newsmax is complaining about the commercialization of Christmas. Meanwhile, One America News on the other channel that has the same audience is criticizing not enough commercialism because they're using the talking point about supply chains to blame Biden and paint him as a Grinch for, air quotes, ruining Christmas. It's like the count the votes, stop the count. Right-wingers directly opposing messages. It's interesting. Blackwing Hecate with a link says, I found the perfect auditor trap to use. Do not enter if you have symptoms of COVID. COVID-19 test center. Oh, God.
Christmas is all about, supposed to be all about. It's a dim rumor at best. You got articles like these all over the place. How to get over your hangover, how to lose weight, how to build a bar in your basement.
Yeah. A lot of people get drunk in the holidays, so they want to know how to get rid of their hangover for New Year's or Christmas or whatever. They got sloshed on eggnog, and now they're trying to nurse a headache.
Message of Christmas. Christmas. Christ is in Christmas, right? Do you remember Bill O'Reilly? We talked about this earlier in the show. He talked about the war on Christmas. It looks like the secular left may have won that war, at least as far as our culture goes. I'd like to bring in our panel, Eric Metaxas, host of the Eric Metaxas radio show.
I like that the left just, like, lives their lives for the most part, and, like, we'll criticize things, but we'll also, you know, in general, the left, including center-left in this, but usually we'll just kind of go around and be like, hey, maybe that thing's racist, or, like, we shouldn't do this, or whatever. But otherwise, we'll be, like, you know, just creating shit, or doing their job, or, like, whatever. And then the right just spends all their time going, no, but culture is changing, it's a culture war, and they're always losing because culture always changes, but they consider any cultural change to be a culture war that they're constantly losing because wanting culture to remain stagnant is a losing position.
He is the author of Is Atheism Dead? And Mark Simone from iHeartRadio.
Is atheism dead? I would say no, probably. I think nuns are amongst nuns as in N-O-N-E-S. One of the fastest growing religious groups in the United States. At least it had been. A lot of people are not religious. That doesn't necessarily mean they would self-ascribe the label of atheist. But they're not necessarily religious or believe in a deity, which would be definitionally atheism, but I don't really care what people call themselves.
The great talk show host, of course. Eric, every year we have this conversation, it seems, but I really...
It's almost like we're spinning our wheels and doing the same topic every year. Maybe why we're stagnant and need to court literal fascists in order to keep the party alive, but whatever.
Do you think that O'Reilly was, it might have been a ratings trick at first, but he was onto something. He was ahead of his time.
He may have started as a complete grifter, but it became true, so I can use it now.
And I believe the war, at least culturally, has been fought.
Atheists like to eat the booty, asks Mikey the Noob. I've never eaten a booty. I'm sorry. I failed you all. Blackwing Hecate says, atheism is dead, and we killed it, Chad Nietzsche.
Fought and almost won by the left.
Okay, I'm going to throw you a curveball. I know you can handle it. I like you. You're smart. You ready? The war on Christmas has been fought and lost by the religious Christians, the people who go to church. If they really celebrated Christmas, if they really, really believed the insane idea that God sent his son to this world, etc.
Oh, he's saying it's insane. All right, I don't disagree, but, you know, it's a weird thing to say as a Christian for him.
Etc. If they really believed that and lived it out, it would be no contest. People who say they're Christians, what they really mean is, I'm not a Jew, I'm not an atheist, I'm not a Muslim, I guess I'm a Christian. They really act in a secular way. And so it's up to us who...
Most people are not evangelicals or fundamentalists. Yeah, but they're still Christian if they're Christian.
Claim to believe this, to decide, do I really believe this? Did it really happen? If it did happen, if this is true, if this story is more than a fairy tale, it is the most amazing story in the history of the world. Some people have called it the greatest story ever told. If people who call themselves Christians, I'm not talking about Gentiles, I'm talking about Christians, actually believe this. And
is he the writer of the Donald the Caveman books? Actually, I don't know. Let me look. Hold on, I have one of them somewhere. Where are those books? Here they are. Metaxas and Raglan. What's this guy's name? Metaxas and Raglan are the authors of that.
Lived it out as though it were true, because it is, it would be a totally different ballgame. It's easy for us to attack the left. The left.
Yeah, I believe this is him. This is the guy that wrote the Caveman Donald Trump books that we've looked at.
Doesn't really have to do anything.
They're children's books praising Donald Trump, if you haven't seen me cover those.
Except, you know, it's kind of like Lucy with the football. You know, you don't have to kick the football. You can't blame Lucy.
What you say makes a lot of sense. And I am rather new on my...
Manufactured consent by the media. What you say makes a lot of sense. I know I brought you on and cherry-picked someone to have the same opinion I wanted my audience to agree with, and now me saying what you say makes a lot of sense is an intentional way to manipulate the audience into being more receptive to the message you just got across so that they will internalize it, but, you know, We're unbiased here.
Faith journey. And as someone, I don't want to say newly converted, but newly alive in my faith, I am surprised that more people are not talking about the peace, the serenity, everlasting life that is available through Christ. Now, Mark,
that's like all Christians talk about if they talk about Christianity, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Mark, I don't know if you were expecting this kind of a conversation, but I do think, though, there is, and Eric, I would like you to weigh in on this, there is this feeling, well, we don't want to offend anybody. We believe, but we don't want to offend anybody. Now, I know Mark is very comfortable offending anybody, so Mark, please weigh in.
Von Tuck says, Nativity is an okay story, I guess, but the Foundation trilogy is way better.
Of course there's a war on Christmas. I see people with signs, all holidays matter, you know, fighting this war on Christmas. And
they're making fun of you, dipshit.
It seems every year the war on...
2man642 with 75 bits and a link.
God is dead! God is dead! God is dead!
But Ryuta ain't having it. The truth will not die.
What the fuck?
Christmas starts earlier and earlier. Hey, and by the way, all you people, could you start a war on Thanksgiving too? I'm not crazy about Thanksgiving, not my favorite holiday. But the left will always argue that it doesn't exist, it's not real, it's ginned up. But
it's not real.
Try to put a Christmas tree on a municipal building and see what happens. Try to put a wreath up.
That happens all the fucking time. Literally, I drove by. Every week I go back to Saginaw to play D&D, which is the city closest to where I grew up, right? Their municipal building had multiple Christmas trees outside and a giant wreath on the outside. The courthouse had a big sign on it. Like, what?
Up and you'll see.
Blackwing Hecate says, boy, I can't wait until you do a cult watch so we can do some of that happy science bullshit. Oh, God.
What happens? It does exist. There's a war on everything nowadays from the left. There's a war on the police department. There's a war on jails. There's a war.
The police started it.
On every word you want to say. There's a war on normalcy. That's where the war is.
Mark, I think you are correct. There is a war. There is the left. Yes, they waged a campaign. But, Eric, I think...
A very successful campaign, apparently. And we weren't even trying. That's how good we are. Fear us.
I agree with you. Too much of... We kind of just...
First we took Christmas. Then we took marriage. Now we're going to take your gender norms. And just fuck them.
Surrendered, right?
Of course I agree with Mark. There's no question. But the point is, whether you're a conservative, a patriot, a Christian, I don't care. If we don't fight back, if we don't push back. I had a neighbor ask me one day, he put up a wreath on his door in New York City, and he asked me, I'm not joking, is this okay with you? Does this maybe offend you? I wanted to punch him.
I'll take things that have never happened for 1200. I was going to say Alex. Alex is dead now. I don't know who the new host of Jeopardy is. Von Tuck says, a war on every word you want to say. Gee, I wonder which words he means.
I said, are you joking? He wasn't joking. It is people like that who are so worried about offending anybody that they have themselves become, everything is meaningless. If you believe this is a great country, if you believe we should celebrate Columbus Day, Thanksgiving, all these things, celebrate it with everything you have. Celebrate it unapologetically.
How do you celebrate Columbus Day?
Or I'm gonna put it.
Don't answer that, Chad. I know where you're gonna go with it.
On people, I'm gonna say you don't believe it. You yourself don't believe this is a great country, even though people died so we could have freedom. You don't believe the Bible is true, that God is true. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so timid. Your timidity betrays your fear, your lack of beliefs. We have to figure out, do we believe these things? And if you...
Nick says, so the homeless guy burning the Fox News Christmas tree doesn't offend this guy, right?
If you believe it, you better live like you do, and then you're not going to worry what people think. You're going to know you're doing them a favor because you're telling them the truth, and they didn't know it yet.
I love it, Eric. I love it. Mark, final thoughts?
You know, the Puritans, that was the last time we saw anything like this, where they were offended by every little thing. Believe it or not, I think it was in the 1650s. They banned the celebration of Christmas for a
And what religious group were the Puritans? Huh. I wonder. The Puritans were Christian, dipshit.
while. I mean, so you're going back to this ridiculous puritanical nonsense.
Eric Metaxas, we appreciate it. Mark Simone, of course, we appreciate it. To be continued, gentlemen. Oh, check out Mark on iHeartRadio, of course. And Eric's book is Atheism Dead. It came out just about 6 weeks ago, available wherever books are sold. We'll be right back.
Good God, I hate these people. Ah.
Hi, my name is Graham Large and this is the second of 3 videos for this Christmas 2021. I've called the video The War on Christmas because there's a subtle war being waged over Christmas. If we look at the shopping centres and their Christmas displays, mostly they are called festive decorations. We've had local councils deliberately keeping the word Christmas out of their publicity,
which would be their right to do. Isn't it weird that, like, how do I put this? Like, if someone like me on the left is, like, trying to lobby society in general to change some norm or something, or some right? It's usually, like, me saying something like, I would like the right to not be discriminated against, right? I don't want to be assaulted or told I can't go somewhere specifically because I'm, like, trans, or, in the cases of stuff like Black Lives Matter, saying, like, the police shouldn't indiscriminately get to do things to black people or any non-white person or whatever, right? It's limiting people's actions to hurt others, but the right seems to feel that things that need action being taken on are to have other people cater to them specifically. It's not just about permissibility. It's not about their ability to say Merry Christmas, because no one is stopping them from saying Merry Christmas. Of course they can say Merry Christmas. I say Merry Christmas. No one cares. It's entirely about them telling other people, no, you have to say Merry Christmas and cater to me specifically. It's a very strange and self-centered worldview. Blackwing Hecate says, who gave the Phyrexian Praetors a conservative talk show? And then there's a link. Jin Gitaxius, Core Augur. I don't understand the joke.
or description of their town centre lights. They are now festive lights or holiday events. And I've heard them say that it's because they do not want to offend people of other faiths. How could the term Christmas celebration offend other faiths? I can't think of any...
I don't think it offends people. I think they just want to make it open. So, like, hey, it's the holidays. Come do holiday things. Christmas kind of implies it's for you if you celebrate Christmas. Which most people do in the UK and the US and stuff, but I don't have any issue with calling it a holiday thing, because Christmas isn't the only holiday that time of the year.
Reason why it would be. After all, Ramadan or Festival of Lights are not offensive to other faiths and are mostly embraced.
No, nor is Christmas. It's just inclusive.
Years ago, I read that politicians were being encouraged not to mention Christmas in promoting...
Oh my god. I hate boomers. I really, really do. Oh, look, it's me. Hi, me.
In the early morning hours yesterday, the Christmas tree outside of Fox's Manhattan headquarters went up in flames. It was an act of arson at a time where crime in America, and Fox covered it too.
It's about the Christmas spirit. It is about the holiday season.
Metaxas sounds like Jin Gitaxis. Oh, gotcha.
It's about Jesus. It's about Hanukkah. It is about everything that we stand for as a country. Freedom and being able to worship the way that you want to worship.
I think that's all the War on Christmas stuff I'm good for today. We've been going for 2.5 hours. We could do some other stuff before we call it a night. Speedy Yoshi says, my friend just told me they have an NB trans med friend. Just how does that work? Trans meds think NBs are just trenders? I have no idea.
We bring in the studio this morning one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr? Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good
having
morning.
me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Zarek Shadow says, I got something we could watch. Oh, BuzzFeed. That's probably dog
Who
shit.
says I'm gay?
You are gay. You lesbian? Homosexual? How can I describe you? As gender, you were initially male or female?
The sex that was assigned to me at birth was female.
And you opted to become male. Did you discover that you are actually meant to be male? Gay rights activists, why should someone be gay? So as we stand today, are you dating any female?
Yes, I am.
You have a girlfriend?
Yes, I do.
While in transition, you're having a girlfriend?
Yes.
Do you perform the natural obligations? Doesn't that make you gay?
What do you mean, doesn't that make me gay? I am male and attracted to a female.
So who is gay?
So who is gay? Holy fucking shit. I'm glad I at least don't have to explain the very concept of trans people to people most of the time. That's good.
What's going on, you guys? Tyler J.
Speedy Yoshi with a link.
I think you just scarred me for life. But thanks for being inclusive.
Grimer here.
Pizza's here. Oh, good, I'm hungry.
And I just made a
Blackwing Hecate says your food is here. Thank you, I saw.
dummy of the MLG air horn / DJ air horn. It's really annoying and it's evil. So yeah, I made a dummy of MLG air horn / DJ air horn. And I'm gonna beat up MLG air horn / DJ air horn. Hold on. I'm gonna put the ankle.
Kind of pizza, got a calzone with ham and bacon.
In here. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
Thursday.
All right. Sounds great. So, yeah, I can...
Sales or help a call.
This is actually interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Microsoft is holding like an Excel competition, so it's a competition on who is best at using Microsoft Excel.
That's quite a lot for Excel users. Point where you're copying.
Because yeah, I mean, I would.
So they just have to like write, figure out how to write algorithms for specific tasks and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm a dork. I think that's interesting. I wouldn't actually sit and watch it, but like it's cool that that's a thing, I guess. Alright, I would like to eat some food, so I am gonna raid someone. I'm quite hungry. I have not eaten, so.
Evolution of what currently we're doing with our consumption online and our consumption of through our phones and everything else. The funny thing is like
I see Sony announced purple controllers and PS5 plates. Yes, very cool.
Isn't wrong. He just sucks.
Okay, everyone, I'll be back tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday.
It is what's coming.
So come hang out and we'll do
like,
you know, we'll do conspiracy
you just
stuff. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for that.
All these things
have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your various dinners.
They're not going to be the gatekeepers of the metaverse.
Bye.
You just know that there's a bunch of things in place so that they can still be the fucking gatekeepers of the metaverse.